Hello, welcome back to Mountain Gym Card Collectibles. And today I want to talk about victims, all right? And the haves and have-nots in relation to the sports card collecting world, okay? Now, I know that there are a lot of big hobby insiders on YouTube. I'm sure you're watching these guys, Neo, Boston Card Hunter, Scotty B, a lot of these big names that were invited to this Tops Industry Conference 2026 in Arizona. They like to kind of come out and spill the beans about what was brought up, at this conference, what was spoken of. But overall, when I look at this conference and the people who are shilling out the information, for one reason, I just keep thinking of the year 1978. Okay, or actually later in the year 1978. And why is that? Well, that gets back to what I want to talk about, and that is victims. All right. So, the Jonestown Massacre occurred on November 18th, 1978. When 918 people died in a mass murder-suicide at the People's Temple Agricultural Project, Jonestown in Guyana, led by the charismatic but increasingly paranoid Jim Jones. The event was the largest loss of American civilian life in a non-natural disaster until the September 11th attacks. That's a lot of people, almost 1,000 people, okay? Now, we can all agree about one thing about the Jonestown Massacre. Jim Jones. Well, he led a cult. Okay? A cult. That's really important to think about now, isn't it? Why do you think I'm speaking about cults when I'm supposed to be talking about sports cards? Exactly. I shouldn't be talking about cults and sports cards. That should never happen. But like it says here, and this stuff is really kind of tough to soak into. I mean, when this happened, this is just horrible. All these people should still be alive, in my opinion, This never should have happened. The community was forced to ingest a mixture of grape-flavored Fla-Vor-Aid, often misidentified as Kool-Aid, laced with cyanide, sedatives, and tranquilizers. It's horrible, isn't it? And this whole thing kind of started out with, like it says here, this airstrip ambush. Following a visit to investigate allegations of human rights abuses, U.S. Congressman Leo Ryan and his delegation were ambushed at the nearby Fort Kaituma airstrip by Temple gunmen. Ryan and 4 others, including 3 journalists and a Temple defector, were killed. Okay. That's what happened to them for telling the truth. Think about that. They were trying to get the information out, and that is what happened to them. Okay? And that takes me to, this new, idea for Topps Fanatics to try and destroy more people's lives, okay? And this time, the scheme is the Fanatics American Express card, which is a new specialized credit card designed to integrate sports betting, merchandise, and tickets with a focus on fan-driven rewards. Announced at the 2026 Topps Industry Conference, it offers perks like front-of-the-line access to Topps drops and 5% fan cash on tickets. Ouch. Okay. So right there, it offers perks like front-of-the-line access to Topps drops and 5% fan cash on tickets. I mean, whatever happened to the free and fair market? Oh, more gaming by Topps Fanatics and Michael Rubin to try and get into your bank accounts. Yep. I mean, it's hard not to see the degen business model created by Topps Fanatics now, isn't it? And I know that's a very harsh statement, but let's face it, cardboard should be what it used to be in the 80s and 90s. You can go ahead and deny that, but it is what it is. It's just something, that people should be able to collect for not much money. And I know that a lot of people don't want to hear that. And so when I talk about victims, what really stands out are box prices, okay? So your first victim from Tots Fanatics, of all their victims that really stands out in my mind are just people who are not breaking companies who try and buy hobby boxes, okay? Hey, maybe you're a millionaire or billionaire, but eventually it's going to catch up to you, I mean, that's just it. Even if you're a millionaire, this is really going to start to, take a big chunk of your finances away. So like it says here, and this is very predatory in my opinion to put these massive box prices on it. Like it says here, 2026 Topps Chrome Football FDI First Drop Initiative release. Expected to ship around April 15th, 2026. Features high-end pricing with hobby boxes selling out around $2,800 to $3,200. Okay. Hobby boxes. $2,800 to $3,200. Is this not a cult? Is this not designed to create destruction, pain, agony at the end of the day for a lot of people? You get my point? Victims. Victims of a cult. Victims if you drink the Fanatics Fla-Vor-Aid. That takes us to Fanatics Collect. Okay, Fanatics Collect, that's where you go and you gamble on breaks. And, the Fanatics Live universe, or formerly Fanatics Live, whatever. All right. More victims. More victims. Why are these people victims? These are just cards, man. And so, you come here, you can go to the premier auction. Live breaking. Buy now. Big, massive prices once again out the gate. I can afford any of this stuff. I come from a working class family. I mean, I've always been working class. I've never had mass amounts of money, And so to me, the secondary market with all these massive prices that, is always getting pushed out the gate, whether it's on singles, whether it's on boxes, whatever, whether it's the live breaking, where you gamble all your money. It's hard to deny the fact that what Tots Fanatics has created is a predatory business that, in my mind, will destroy a lot of people, okay? There isn't anything pure about Tots Fanatics. It's all just this need to be predatory and destroy a lot of people's lives, whether it's Fanatics Collect or Fanatics Sportsbook, where you can go and you can do some sports bets, which we know a lot of people lose all their finances, go bankrupt. They are victims, 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 victims. How many victims, from Tots Fanatics and Michael Rubin, And they do make it look fun. They make it look nice. Hey, they have, a girl sitting there. If the basketball isn't that special, go and gamble all your money away with Tots Fanatics. Gamble, gamble, gamble. And then hit Tots Fanatics or just Fanatics Sportsbook. Why do you think gambling was made illegal in the past? Why do you think that was? Because all it does is destroy people's lives. But here we live under a regime, the U.S., that really likes to promote this type of stuff. To me, gambling is the absolute bottom barrel of the capitalistic world, okay? Because more often than not, people spend a lot of money and get absolutely nothing back. You can't say it's not predatory, all right? You can't say there aren't victims from this site, all right? For many of these sites that I've gone over, victim, and of course the Fanatics American Express card, which we know there's going to be a lot of victims involved with that. How do you like this business model? And the way that Fanatics profits, and I know that they do sell clothing, but even, their clothing lines are really expensive too, okay? So it's just like everyone who buys into Fanatics is a victim to an extent. They're a victim of a corporation that doesn't care about customers or consumers at the end of the day. They only care about profit, because if they cared about customers and consumers, they would shut down Fanatics Sportsbook. They would shut down the breaking angle of Fanatics Collecting. They would make it a pure, or a pure way of getting sports cards to consumers, customers, whatever, and they wouldn't bankrupt them in the process, And then to sit there and, oh, you can have first dibs with our credit card. How about you just make a free and fair market again, Oh, but we can't have that under this Tots Fanatics monopoly regime, It is a living hell. And so that's why, I started off this episode talking about, these poor victims of the Jonestown massacre. And nobody really likes to think about victims, do they? And unfortunately, the more that Tots Fanatics likes to roll out this stuff for their special inner circle of people, like the Neos, the Boston Card Hunters, the Scotty Bees, whatever, Are they just part of the cult? And a lot of people believe that they are at this point in time. Let's face it. This is a cult, and it destroys people. There isn't anything good about Tots Fanatics at all. There really isn't. You can look at all of the big, athletes like Tom Brady, but what's he really doing for anyone but himself, He's just filling his own pocket. That's all Tom Brady has ever done is, gotten rich off the backs of fans, collectors, the league. Hey, that's good for him. The GOAT, But when is he ever going to step back and not be a scumbag like Michael Rubin and all this other predatory, scammy, schemy, douches out there? It would be nice to not have to witness that. But here we are. It's such an ugly look. It's a cult. It's like the Jim Jones cult, Do I care about Topps Industry Conference news? I don't give a shit. You're all a bunch of villains. Anyone who's tied with Topps Fanatics, I don't care who you are. You're a villain. You're someone who is out here to try and destroy people's lives for your profit. You're no better than a crack dealer from the 1980s, man. But with what was going on in the 1980s, you're just destroying lives. And the cult of drinking the Fanatics Fla-Vor-Aid really needs to get shut down. This is a simple hobby. The collectors have been broomed out a long time ago, unfortunately, in favor of all the, gamblers and this and that. I'm just not impressed. I'm not impressed with the conference. I'm not impressed with the insiders. I guess I am just not impressed with any of this at all. It all comes off as very predatory, And I know all these little insiders like to, spout out all the kind of good things about it. Oh, this is good. This is good. But why aren't they being honest to you? Think about it. Why did the Jim Jones cult do what they did to those people? Why aren't they being honest? Why is honesty such a bad thing in a cult, huh? So how do you feel about all this? Are you happy with the way that things have turned out for Tots Fanatics and their big monopoly and the way that they're going to just try and destroy people financially? Do you feel like it's more of a cult than an industry to an extent? Do you feel like our hobby has been hijacked by a bunch of people who will go out of their way to destroy your life? Well, guess what? That's the way I feel. And it's hard not to deny it. And you can have all your corporate insiders that you guys love to monetize on YouTube gaslight you every day. I'm not one of them, and I never will be. And I'm proud of that fact. I come from a working class family. My dad was never involved with the higher ups. My mom has never been involved with higher ups, and neither have I. You will never ever see me at any Fanatics or Topps Industry Conference ever. Anyway, I'd like to thank my subscribers. You're the reason I keep doing these episodes. I'd like to thank my viewers. If you could subscribe and hit the thumbs up, that would really help out my channel. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye.